What is going on, guys? My name is Coleman Owenby, and welcome back to my channel. One of my biggest passions in life is helping people find success, whether that's with their fitness, their personal lives, or their careers, or whatever it is that they want to do. I like to use my knowledge and experience that I've learned from the gym, my education, and elsewhere that I've gotten through my 26 years of being on this earth to help people. And honestly, one of the biggest things that has helped me, and I credit my mother for teaching me this at a very young age, is having a consistent, structured routine. It's something that I see a lot of people that come to me and ask me for fitness advice, they don't have in their lives. And when you don't have a structured routine in your life, especially for fitness, you cannot measure your results accurately because you're doing one thing one day and another thing another day. It's not consistent. You're not waking up at the same time. You're not going to bed at the same time. You're not prioritizing your meals. And so you really don't know what you're doing. You're just kind of flying by the seat of your pants. You can, my dad always says, you can find a blind hog and find an acorn every once in a while, meaning that yes, you can have some luck, but when you have a structured system and a structured routine, your results, no matter what your goals are, whether that's fitness, business, your relationships, money, whatever, when you have that structured discipline, your success rate will go way up. And so in this video, I'm going to cover a couple things about structure that you may not be thinking, and really ultimately how to create a structured plan for yourself that's going to help with everything in your life. So let's get started. The first thing you got to do is you got to sit down and look at a calendar. You see your week. Everybody's week kind of varies week to week, but you really want to focus and hone in on your day-to-day activities because we're human beings. We have to develop habits that are positive in order to make progress, and the only way to do that is to do it every single day. And so for starters, what you look at is we have 24 hours in a day to work with. Arnold Schwarzenegger is very famous for saying he figured out that if you sleep 6 hours, you have 18 hours left in your day to actually get things done and, use that amount of time so that you're still getting recovery, but you still have plenty of time to do the things that you need to do. And so I believe in that. The only day I don't sleep 6 hours is Sunday, and that's because I don't go to the gym on Sundays. I just focus on doing the cardio here in my neighborhood that I live in. That way I save time and I can actually get recovery. But for the most part, I work with 18 hours a day. Once you know how many hours that you're going to be awake, you look at what things you have on your schedule that are priority, that are non-negotiable. For most of us, this is going to be work. So if you work a job, you can be working anywhere from 8 hours to 12 hours a day. Whatever that time frame is, you have to use it like a budget. You've got 18 hours to work with. So, okay, let's say it's an 8-hour shift. Boom, that's 8 hours gone. Now I got to factor in travel time to and from work. Some people are very fortunate. They live about 5 minutes from work, so it's very simple and easy to get to. Me, it takes me about 30 to 45 minutes to get to work once I actually get on the road. So I take that number, multiply it times 2 for the trip there and back. Boom, now I've lost, let's just say, another hour and a half out of my 18-hour days. If you add that up, that's about 9.5 hours. Now, next priority for me is the gym and making sure I get there, work out, and do that. I just block off about 2 hours because from the time it takes me to leave my house to get back to my house, it's about 2 hours, maybe sometimes 2.5 hours, depending on what workload I have. So those things right there are like the non-negotiables for me. Now, those are big deals. The other things that are really a little bit less of a priority, and the reason they're a little bit less of a priority is because once you cook food and do your nutrition stuff and get the supplements ready, that's something that will only take you a short amount of time, and you really don't have to do it every few days. So that's the next thing. And all of these things are working around my work schedule, right? And what's left is I can get, down here, film a video, I can go out with my friends, my girlfriend, spend time with my family, and that's the free time that's left over. To me, one of the biggest things that people miss in seeing anyway is that they're not going to have free time when they have a structured schedule or rigidity. But the thing is, not only are you going to have more free time, you're going to have a better time with your free time. Because think of it like this. Would it be really nice to go out with your friends, have a couple drinks, or go out to eat or whatever, and know in the back of your mind that you took care of every single thing that you had to take care of for that single day? And then you can just go relax and enjoy yourself. But what most people are doing right now is they don't do that. They just go out, they just go have a good time, and because of that, they let things slide that have to get done, kind of like, simple things like doing laundry, doing your dishes, or going to the gym, or being prompt to work. I mean, it all kind of compounds over time. The less structure you have, the more likely you are to actually fail, in my opinion, because you're going to let things slip to the point that it just snowballs and comes crashing down on you, and you can't do anything about it. So, big thing, make sure you have the structure. Now, another thing is, once you get your time block set up for what you have to spend your time on, don't overcommit to things. So one of the hardest things to grasp, especially when you're trying to, work through personal development or work on your personal fitness or whatever it is we want to achieve so much in a short amount of time. But the problem with that is, like I said, we only have 18 hours really to work with, and for most people, they're used to sleeping 8 and 9 hours. Transitioning to 18 hours is going to be very brutal. And so, if you overcommit to things and you say, okay, I listened to this Coleman Owenby character on YouTube, he told me to go out and, stay up for 18 hours and just continue to grind every day. And you're thinking in your mind, oh, I'm going to fill from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep with all these events so that I'm making sure that I'm not only, doing these things but enjoying myself. What's going to happen is you will get nothing done. I was sitting in the gym today, and I'm going to give you a really great example of why this is. I was sitting in the sauna relaxing after a workout, and this guy comes in, and he was talking on the phone to a client, or a potential client. I don't know his business, but overheard his conversation. And he started telling his client, like, you need to do this, and he starts rattling off this ridiculously long list of things that he expects his client to do. And ultimately what he was doing, and hey, I'm guilty of this too, is expecting his client to put his client self in this guy's shoes that was talking. And the biggest mistake with that is he was expecting his new client to do all of these things and make a change like that. And that's just not reasonable. We're human beings. We need time to acclimate to new changes. For me, I find that the best success that I have comes from when I made one small change. The first change that I made in my entire fitness career the first change was I decided to go back to the gym after taking 2 or 3 years off once I started lifting weights in high school. The second biggest thing I did, again a singular change, was I cut out sodas altogether. And what happens is when you get used to making one change at a time and you do it 2 or 3 weeks and you keep going and then, hey, maybe I want to try this, hey, maybe I want to try that, that actually compounds too. Just kind of like we were talking about a minute ago, when you're not structured and organized, things can compound. When you make small changes over time, one at a time, and really focus on them, after you get good at it, then you can adapt and make another one. They snowball, compound, and you get better at making multiple changes because you've told yourself and you've seen the results of winning. What this guy was telling his client was complete lunacy. Telling him to make changes here and eat foods he doesn't want to eat. If you don't want to eat foods you don't want to eat, don't do it. And making that many changes at a given time, sure, that's going to work for some people, but I feel like most people need to really focus on getting good at one thing. If it's you haven't been to the gym and you need to be going to the gym, focus on getting good at just going to the gym. If you need to work on your diet and eat healthier, do that. Focus on that. Don't necessarily focus on buying supplements or creating structured plans or getting very specific with measurements and how much you're eating. All of those things work, but when you're trying to get used to a structure and you're trying to get used to a new routine and all these different things, you cannot overload yourself. And so that's why I say allow yourself some flexibility in your structure. I know that was kind of a long way around to get to it, but that's what I'm getting at. If you overcommit to the amount of tasks that you're going to do, you may get through 2 or 3 of them, and your self-confidence is going to go way down. And the reason it goes down is because in your head, you listened to this video and you got all motivated and excited to go do it, but what ultimately happened was you failed to do more than half of the things, and now you're pretty much depressed. You're depressed about it, and you're holding yourself really accountable, and you feel bad. So we don't want to do that. I would say commit to doing no more than 5 new things in one day, and most of the things that aren't really that new, it could be just committing to 5 major things a day. That way, you're not overdoing it. So when you put all this together, you put the structure in place, you look at your time blocks, you don't overcommit to it, you get to that point that I was talking about a second ago where you can really pick and choose what new things you want to try, and as you pick and choose them, you can find out really what works for you. It could be with your diet, your supplements, your exercises, whatever it is, your career, your relationships. And when you can really when you really get the time to hone in and focus on one thing at a time, you get so good at those one things that you don't even think about it when you do it. You just go, 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 go until you're standing there holding a trophy winning. And that's what everybody wants, is to win whatever goal it is and get there as fast as possible. But understand that structure plays the biggest role of any of that, or of the entire process. So that is my number one tip for making a big change in your life, and that's the one thing that you should focus on, having some structure in your life. I promise you this, if you focus on making structure for the next 3 weeks, what you're going to find is that you do have more time to do things. Because yes, at first when you start to try to do the things that you know you have to do and you stick to a structured thing, you're probably going to suck at it. I can tell you right now, when I first started a new routine, I always pretty much suck at it. But now that I've been manipulating my own routines and doing routines for 20 years, I understand what each routine takes. I have a better understanding of time, and my time management skills are superior to most of my peers. And that's not me patting myself on the back, that's just me telling you what you can expect when you get to that point. And I think that's what everybody wants to do, and that's what I encourage each and every one of you to do, because that's going to be the single best tip, not only for fitness, but your career, your relationships, that you're ever going to hear, is find that structure in your life, follow it religiously, no matter what day it is, Sunday through Saturday, so that you get the things that you truly want in life. Because to me, that's what it's all about. So, thank you for watching this video. If you would do me a favor, click that like button and that subscribe button if you really enjoyed today's content. If you did enjoy today's content, please be sure to share this with a friend. Help them out. Help me help them out too. I love each and every one of you guys, and I'll see you guys soon.